This is the Ideas to Innovation Laboratory in Armstrong. This is in the basement of Armstrong. It is one of the hidden gems of the Armstrong building. It has multiple projectors which can be divided down into TA computers so that each projection screen can be projecting something different on one of the many blackboard walls. The entire wall is a blackboard. It also houses over 120 engineering students every morning or afternoon for each section of Engineering 131. This is what we like to call where the magic happens. Now that you've seen the venues for Engineering 131, you're probably thinking we have a pretty sick setup so far as rooms and materials and technology goes. Well, yes, we do have a lot of resources available to us as engineering students, but there are several problems with 131 which make it not all that worth it for us as students. Nathan Meisenheimer, an engineering student for Engineering 131, is here to answer some questions about Engineering 131. Nathan, what do you think is the major problem with 131 as it is now?
They give us way too much homework. Like, they tell us it's supposed to be an hour and a half of homework a week.
For completion? Like it should take you an hour and a half to complete it?
Yes, an hour and a half to complete it. And it's more like 6 to 8 hours a week.
So you think that homework takes longer than the allotted time that you were told?
Yes.
So when you're doing model eliciting activities, MEAs, what are those exactly, what are those supposed to be?
Well, we're supposed to be eliciting a model, as it says in the title.
So is that like a hands-on type activity?
No.
Is it supposed to be hands-on?
It would seem that way, but it's not.
Why is it not? What do they have you do?
Instead, we have to write memos, which is more of an essay type thing. And this is engineering, not English, so.
How is the formatting on those essays? Is it difficult?
It's just throw it together, hope it works.
Is it just time consuming and doesn't really provide any useful information?
Pretty much.
So the work that you do in Engineering 131, since you have 2 hours of class, 2 hours of lab, and you have about 6 to 8 hours of homework a week, I mean, obviously that work should be useful as a future engineer. I mean, it should help you in your life and in your role as a student, and it should, you know, be very practical. Does any of that work that you do, any of those, you know, hours and hours of work and homework and everything, does any of that actually help?
As of now, I cannot see how it would help at all.
Why is that?
I haven't actually learned anything about engineering. I've learned how to write a memo infinitely many of times, but that's about it.
Have you done any hands-on activities, anything that would help you design or build an actual structure?
No.
So how would you make this course better? I mean, obviously it's not working. How would you make it, you know, useful and actually practical?
I would cut it into a half-semester course and then just stick with the introduction to all the engineering disciplines. Of course, decrease the workload on those two so that we can worry about more important classes like Calc 162 or 165 and chemistry, all those 4 or 5 credit courses. And of course, English.
So would you agree with the statement that Engineering 131 homework takes at least 3 or 4 times longer than the allotted time that the professors told at the beginning of the year?
Oh yeah, most definitely. It's a ridiculous amount of work. We have to do not only hours and hours of individual work, which make me and many of my fellow engineering student teammates stay up all night and pull all-nighters for sometimes multiple nights a week, but also we have to do teamwork, and we have to get together as a team and then do a lot of the model listing activities. We have to do some milestone projects where we think of a whole new design for an entire system, which, as we're freshman engineers, you know, we don't have a lot of practice, and we have to redesign systems, and then we have to write essays on it, and then in certain formats and answer questions, and it's a lot of work, and it's just crazy.
The problem with Engineering 131 is not so much that it gives us coursework, which everyone came to college expecting a little bit of coursework and expecting it to be a little bit difficult. However, the problem with 131 is that it blows things vastly out of proportion. The amount of coursework we do in conjunction with our other classes and the kind of deadlines we're pressured to meet are
absolutely ridiculous. We are pressured to do 3 or 4 projects for the same class that are due at the exact same time, usually in the course of about a week. So how do we fix a problem like this? Well, exactly as we heard from Nathan Meisenheimer, we can actually just reduce the course to being a half-semester course which focuses on introducing engineering disciplines, and then keep Engineering 132 as is, as a secondary course to Engineering 131. This has been a public service announcement from Cameron Quinn and Mike Toda.